Hey, Shalom, Makim, Siyabataz. I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahawashi. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone. Much love and respect to you brothers out there doing the work in sincerity and truth, striving for the whole full leg during all afflictions, seeking out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Yahawashi, Bashamar Kakwadash, Barakatam Makim. All right, I just want to go into the book of Sirach, chapter 2, and read down and go to the spirit. We're in this flesh, and brothers are going through temptations. I'm primarily speaking to myself, you know what I'm saying? Because one brother, another man is not above another, and we all suffer through the same things, being in this flesh. And basically, that's why I want to speak this, this particular chapter. So I'm gonna start with Sirach chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself for temptation. Okay, so you have to prepare yourself when you come into the following Yahawashi, man. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be tried and tested. You're gonna be put through various temptations. Being in this truth, it's just part of it. You know what I'm saying? It's not there to destroy you. I mean, though it can be, because it's a very fine line between on the left hand and the right hand side, which represents that danger, the fire and the deep water. So it could, you know what I'm saying? But Yahweh Shemel has given us the words of comfort, the holy scriptures, the comforter, to guide us in the way, And just like when Peter was walking on the water with Yahawashi, he walked with them, even though he was in a dangerous situation. He was in safety until he began to doubt. Fear began to creep into him. He began to sink, down in the waters. And then what did he do? He cried out to Yahawashi, and Yahawashi lifted him up. And that's the same thing. It goes into the same thing. So it says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord Yahawashi, prepare thyself for temptation. So I'm gonna come over here to 1 Peter 4:1. For as much then as Yahawashi HaMashiach has suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourself likewise with the same mind. You ain't gonna come into this thing and it's gonna be a gravy train. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna go through things. You know what I'm saying? If it's all gravy, then there's something is obviously, or something's not right. Okay, because the scriptures say in the same chapter of 1 Peter 4, it says in verse 12, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fire of trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. But rejoice inasmuch as you are partakers of Yahweh's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, you may be glad also with exceeding joy. If you be reproached for the name of Yahushua Mashiach, happy are ye. For the spirit of glory for the spirit of glory and of the Most High resteth upon you. See, it says, for the spirit of glory and of the Most High resteth upon you. On their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified. Okay, so going back to verse 12, Beloved, thinking not strange concerning the fire trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. Now this could be a temptation. Because the word temptation, you know what? Let me look it up, just to get some clarification on the word temptation. Temptation. All right, it says the act of tempting, or the state of being tempted, especially to evil, enticement. Something tempting as a cause of or occasion of an enticement. Okay, and there's the point right there. In Origin Middle English, it says testing. To test you, okay. Going further down, it says attempt, attack, from blame, temporary, to fill, test, attempt, make an assault on. So you're being tested, okay. You're being tried. So it says in 1 Peter 4:12, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fire trial, which is to try you, to test you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. So being in this truth is not something that you're just gonna like I said, it's not gonna be a gravy train, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't just gonna coast through this thing all badass, unscathed. You're gonna be bruised, cut up. You're gonna have sorrow. You're gonna have a broken spirit, a broken heart, but not to the point where it destroys you. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. It says, my son, if thou come to serve Yahawashi, prepare thyself for temptation. That's why I read in 1 Peter 4, because you had to arm yourselves likewise with the same mind as Yahawashi. Because Yahawashi knew that he was going to go through some shit, man. Okay? He knew he was going to go through some shit. You know, and you know, and I'm not trying to knock anybody, but it's the truth. Guys think they come into this thing and it's just gonna be this. It's just a, you know, a thing that they see men on the highways and the byways about it being manly, or, you know, manly, or some type of you know, army is being built as far as like carnally. It's not like that, man. You know, you can't look at it that way. You got to look at it as Yahawashi has called you into this ministry to do the work, and it's a ministry of sincerity. You know what I'm saying? It's not just some you know, because the scriptures talk about hirelings and false preachers, false prophets, and things of that nature that don't even give a shit about what's really going on. They're just out there speaking what comes to their own heart. You know, even if they fall into the doctrine, they go and do and speak whatever they want to speak and not really give a shit, because they're there for admiration, for approval, or to be accepted. It's not really to suffer for Yahawashi's sake, man. That's why it says, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind, because Yahawashi, he went through things, man. All right, let me go over here to another one in the book of Hebrews. Brothers, bear with me. In the book of Hebrews, let's see. In the book of Hebrews, can't even find it. All right, book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 15. For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feelings of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin. That's right. It says, but was in all points tempted as we are. Okay. So when did this happen? Let's go over here to the book of Matthew. All right. Matthew chapter 4, verse 1. Then was Yahawashi led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. That's why it says here in Sirach 2:1, my son, if thou come to serve Yahweh, prepare thy soul for temptation. Okay, to be tested, to be tried. Okay, now here in the same book, in the book of Sirach, let me find this other one. This is the book of Sirach chapter 4, verse 17. It says, for at the first she will walk with him by crooked ways, and bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline, until she may trust his soul and try him by her laws. So even the spirit of wisdom is going to try you. You know, Yahawashi, and also on the left hand, our carnal mind, the carnality aspect of it. You know, verse 2, Sirach 2:2, set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. You know, make not haste in the time of trouble when it concerneth you, when it concerns you. Okay, like it says here in Sirach 4:20, observe the opportunity and beware of evil, and be not ashamed when it concerneth thy soul. For there is a shame that bringeth sin, and there is a shame which is glory and grace. And like I read in 1 Peter's 4, you know, how it's the Spirit of the Most High resteth upon you if you suffer for these things. You know, so set thy heart aright, your mind, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. You got to endure. You know, the word endure, or endure, just look it up. You know, brothers broke it down. It needs to be made hard, durable. All right, to continue in the same state last. The style endured for centuries. To remain firm under suffering or misfortune without yielding. You see, without yielding, without slowing down, without giving up, without hesitation. You have to remain firm under the sufferings of Yahawashi Mashiach. That's part of it, man. Right? The scriptures say here, let's bring it up here in the book of Luke. So let's bring it up. Luke chapter 21. Let's see. Luke 21:9, and your patience possess ye your souls. You see? So the word patience goes back to suffering. That's what you have to be patient. All right? That's where that patience has to be applied in the time of your sufferings. Okay? says the outline of biblical usage: steadfastness, consistency, endurance, patiently and steadfastly, a patient, steadfast waiting for, a patient enduring. So when you're in a waiting position, you suffer, right? Look, let's read up here in the letter A. In the New Testament, the characteristics of a man who was not swerved from his deliberate purpose and his loyalty to faith and piety by even the greatest trials and sufferings. A patient, Roman numeral 3, a patient, enduring, sustaining perseverance. You see? It says a cheerful or hopeful endurance, consistency, enduring, patience, patient continuance, waiting. Okay? So waiting is a sense of suffering. All right? Right here. So this is I went to, let me go back. I went to the root word etymology, G5778, and I'm going to come down to the outline of biblical usage, right? It says to remain, tarry behind, remain, that is abide, not recede or flee, not to freight, like the scriptures say here. Let me bring it out in the book of Psalms, where King David, said, let me see, brothers, bear with me. Psalms 37:1, fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. Okay, so fret, it says, he says, fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb. Trust in Yahweh and do good, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Delight thyself also in Yahweh, and he shall give thee the desires of thy heart. Commit thy way unto Yahweh. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. And he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as a noonday. Rest in Yahweh, and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. Okay? Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil. Okay, now I'm gonna look up that word fret. But before I go on, right here it says to preserve or persevere under misfortunes, trials, to hold fast to one's faith in Yahawashi Mashiach, to endure, bear bravely and calmly ill treatments. Right here it says suffer. See, and the Strong's definition: suffer. Patiently, take patiently, suffer, tarry behind. Bam. Okay. So again, Luke 21:19, and your patience possess ye your souls. All right. So let's look up that word fret real quick. If I'm not mistaken, it's to make sure I'm correct. Fret. Right. To eat or gnaw into. To make by wearing away. To cause, to suffer emotional strain, to pass time in fretting, agitate, ripple. Okay, it says to become vexed or worried, right? Because it says fret not thyself because of evildoers. So don't, going back up here, don't cause yourself to suffer emotionally strain. Don't vex yourself because of seeing, the things or going through the things that you do. And take it patiently, as Yahawashi took it patiently, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we're all learning, man. We're all learning how to adapt to these things that are going on, man. Let's go over here to James chapter 1 and verse 2. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, because it's going to come, like I said, made mention in the beginning of the videos, many ways of going through temptations. Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. You see? Knowing this, that trying or testing, the temptation of your faith, tempting of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. Because what made Yahawashi perfect? Let me find it here in the book of Hebrews. Let's see. I'm going to bring it up here since I'm done with that. Let's go to the book of Hebrews chapter 2 and verse 10. For it became him, right? Let me see. Verse 9. But we see Yahawashi, who was made little lower than the angels for the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, that he by the grace of Yahweh should taste death for every man. For it became him, for whom are all things, and by whom are all things, and bringing many sons unto glory, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through sufferings. You see, that's how you're made perfect, through sufferings. For both he that sanctifieth and they who are sanctified are all of one. For which cause he is not ashamed to call them brethren. Why? Because you suffer, man. He calls you a friend because not only you obey, but because you're suffering through these things, man. You know? So let's go back to Sirach 2 and 2. Set thy heart right, constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble, when it concerneth thy soul. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient, when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. You see? Because that's what Yahawashi is looking for. He's looking for those precious jewels. You know what I'm talking about? So that's what we're all hoping we're made of. We're made of gold and silver, of precious stones, of precious gems, you know, not no wood and stubble. You know? For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. You see? Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. You see? Did Yahawashi fall? No. Even though in the sight of men, it was as though he died, but yet he received eternal life. Right? So let me bring this one. This is in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 1. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of the Most High, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery, and their going from us to be utter destruction. But they are in peace. You see? So Yahawashi, he's in peace, man. He's in heaven, in the Shemayim, up in the heavens, man. That's what the heavens are. Okay? The Shemayim. He's up there with his Father, man. You know? It says for though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality. Because Yahawashi, he received immortality, you know, to be immortal. You know, he can never die. You know? It says, yet is their hope full of immortality. Okay? It says, and having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. So because going through the temptations, it is a form of chastisement. Because it hurts, man. Whenever you have to deny things, you deny your flesh. Your flesh is combating against the spirit, the mind, you know, of what the doctrine that has been set upon you, the Holy Spirit. You know, it's a form of chastisement. It's a suffering. You know, possess ye your souls in your patience, man. And your patience possess ye your souls. They shall be greatly rewarded, for Yahweh proved them and found them worthy for himself. As gold in the furnace hath he tried them, and received them as a burnt offering. See? And in the time of their visitation they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord Yahawashi shall reign forever. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect. Okay? So that's the point, man. That's the reward. You know, you're going to receive a